How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look here at New Zealand Swiss. I've got a trade idea set up. I've already sent it out to VIP members, and we are going to be looking to get long on this pair. And I'm going to explain why I'm getting long, as well as how the trade actually unfolds step by step. And I'll be explaining the trade from start to finish. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get into the video right now. So we are looking here at New Zealand Swiss, and we are looking at the 1 hour time frame. You can see this is more of an intraday level trade, and we are looking to get long down in this green zone. Now let me explain a little bit why I'm looking to get long in this particular area. We'll talk briefly about the entry. Now what you can see is if we look left on the chart, you can see that right around this area and this area, we had some steep sell-offs in this structure, kind of as price came into this area, it respected it to the downside, right? And then next, what you can see is that we actually got that same concept. We had a halt here, or some congestion, before price ultimately rallied very strongly and broke through that level, right? But what that tells us briefly about this area of support, right? Or what was previously resistance now can become potential support. In fact, we got another level of kind of holding this zone when price gapped down. It tested into this area and we found bullish support. Now, and since then, we've still held this price level very well. Now, we did consolidate over here. You can see price kind of consolidate a little bit before ultimately deciding to jump up. We found resistance in this area here, which is identified in pink, which we will talk about in a second about the exit of the trade, right? And so then going forward, as price comes down into this area, if we can get a fill, if we can get an entry right here, I'm happy to take a long position here, and looking to, of course, stop out of the trade right around here. You can see this tight stop loss is not quite too tight, right? But we do have a stop loss that limits the downside on this trade. And then we have a risk to reward that's roughly about 1.5 to 1, which I know a lot of people want that 3 to 1 and 4 to 1, but I like a little bit higher win rates, so I'm happy to give the trade a little bit of room to breathe in terms of a stop loss and give a nice little target opportunity right here. You can see the reason I'm targeting this area, as we mentioned briefly a second ago, is that this area is a fresh level of resistance, right? And it was a previous level of support, right? So when price rallied and broke up, we actually saw price consolidate in this area here, right? Hold that zone and push off of that structure. We got a retest, we got a minor bounce, right? So as it stands, this area seems to have some sort of impact on the market, right? Market participants seem to be watching this level. And so if price can rally in our favor, if we get an entry here and price rallies in our favor, going to look to get out of the position here and take profits. Now let's take a look really briefly. If the trade goes in our favor there, it'll be a $122 profit roughly. And similarly on the bottom side, if we take a look at our risk, you can see it's going to be just about an $80 loss. So not too bad at all there. Pretty happy with this trade setup. Again, it's already been sent out to members. And so if they would like to follow the trade, that's up to them. And we will see how this trade goes. I'll come back to you guys with an update. Hopefully we can catch the fill of the trade and see how it goes from there. Okay, traders, a little update here on New Zealand Swiss. We are in the trade. Price came down into our level. You can see it hit our buy limit just in that area, and we are currently involved in the trade on the long side. Now looking to see if this level can indeed hold, or if price is going to fade down and get us out for a stop loss. Of course, either ways, I'm going to be uploading this video. I'm going to be sharing the kind of trade and how it goes from here. Looking like we could see some sort of bullish rally here. Price actually gapped down on the open. You can see on the start of a new day, it gapped down just a little bit, filled the gap relatively quickly, and what we may see is some sort of bounce off of this zone, at least looking to see that relatively soon. Otherwise, of course, going to look to just stop out of the trade and move on to another opportunity. Still holding this trade very nicely. I like the opportunity. I like the setup here. If we look left, still that structure for the most part is still kind of being respected. Now, if we close significantly underneath this level, then of course going to look to scratch the trade and get out. You can see the stop loss is not necessarily extremely tight. We've given it some room to run, but I don't want to put it too far away either, right? Because I don't want to take too much risk relative to what I'm looking to get out of the trade. Again, I believe we're looking to get about $122 on this trade, and we're risking, what is that? About about $80. So we'll see how this trade goes from here. Again, sorry for the late kind of follow-up. It did not get triggered for quite some time here today. So it is the evening time or the afternoon where we're actually got involved with the trade. And I'm going to hold it because I still like the setup. And I think that starting into the Asian session here, we could see some sort of push to the upside. Again, if we're wrong, then we're wrong and we're going to stop out of the trade. It is what it is. That's part of trading. Guys, I'll be back with an update once we see some movement as the Asian session gets going. All right, traders, so we are out of New Zealand Swiss. You can see that price went in our favor there. It actually kind of gapped down on the open of the next day, and you can see that overall price held our zone very, very nicely. We shortly after got a nice push to the upside, got all the way up to our take profit zone that we had identified as this pink area here, and you can see price closed out there. Not bad at all. The overall trade went very well. There was a tiny period of where we had to wait to get involved with the trade, and sometimes that's going to happen, right? Sometimes when you try and get in a trade right here, price doesn't quite fill you, so you have to be patient. And in this case, we had price come down a little bit further, got us into the trade right around this area, somewhere in this zone, and then we currently, we're currently out of the trade. Price went in our favor and shot up towards our take profit zone. Now, I was prepared if this price did continue to fall just to stop out of the trade. No big deal. You just move on to the next opportunity. But fortunately, in this case, our technical analysis worked out. Our zone held very, very nicely, and price shot up and got us out of the trade for about $122 profit, as we had mentioned, which is not bad at all. Pretty happy with the trade and how it went. It was one that I had to sleep on, right? It wasn't open while I was awake the full time because the trade did take a couple hours. You can see these are 1 hour bars, so there was some time to wait for this trade to actually work out. But overall, the trade went very nice and very happy with how this trade went. I hope you got something out of this trade. If you would like to see more of my videos, I have an entire playlist of my trading where I share losers and I share winners so that you can hopefully learn something from my trading as I go along. Guys, thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you got something out of it, and we'll see you next time.